Lucas.
Isabel?
Lucas, if you could spare a minute.
Sure, what is it?
Good morning, Mark.
Oh, morning, Miss Isabel. Is this the day Mr. Jupiter's coming in?
Mark.
Yes, today. Lucas, I need your help.
Sure, what can I do?
Look over there.
Oh, the prophets, huh? Haven't seen them for a year. They giving you trouble?
You know that ever since Judge Hanneman agreed to sell me that 40 acres instead of them, they've been trying to scare me into backing down. Well, they found out I advertised back east for a husband.
Oh, I see. You afraid they'll badger him as soon as he gets off the stage?
Yes.
You talked to Mike about it?
I want Mr. Jupiter to like North Fork, Lucas. I certainly don't want him to think he needs the marshal's protection here.
I see what you mean. Well, what can I do?
Well, I'd rather not meet the stage, especially with the Prophet brothers. They're embarrassing me. Besides, I need the time to prepare a welcoming meal. So if you could explain and bring him by at supper time.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, Isabel. You invite us to your wedding, you have a bargain.
Thank you. You were the only one who could help.
Well, don't you be afraid.
The stage is coming.
Hey, you be careful, that woman spoke for.
Growing up, Mark, you learn one thing for sure. You can't judge the size of a man by the size of his mouth.
North Fork. You wait a minute, Mr. Jupiter. I'll get a couple of boys to help haul that trunk down.
Oh, much obliged to you, but you don't need it.
Pretty heavy.
Looks like the Prophet boys finally grabbed the tail of the wrong bear. I'm Lucas McCain. Isabel Dan told me to come down and meet you for it.
Well, I'm mighty glad to meet you, Mr. McCain. This other fella here, your brother?
Oh, no, sir. I'm his son, Mark. Mr. Jupiter, how heavy is this trunk?
Why, Mark, that's as light as a butterfly's heart. There's nothing in there but my winter duds, 40 or 50 books, and my tools.
Mister, I understand there was a mail-order groom clear from Ohio on that stage. You run into him?
I guess that's nobody else but me. Name's Jupiter. John Jupiter. Ah. Nice to meet you, boys.
Seems like we got enough beef out here without the shipping it all the way out from Ohio.
Yeah. Looks like they dress their beef pretty fancy on the hoof, Jess.
All right, that's enough, boys.
This your brand of pesky flies?
You might call him that, Mr. Jupiter. Isabel just wants to be sure everything is right before you see her housekeeping or taste her cooking.
Well, that suits me. I've waited a long time to meet that woman. A little while longer isn't going to hurt me none.
Well, just to hold you till her supper, you care to join Mark and myself in the dining room?
Well, now, I'll do just that, and thanks to you, Mr. McCain. A couple of beefsteaks will whet my appetite for some of Isabel's home cooking. As soon as I clean up.
We'll meet you in there.
What you got in there? Petticoats?
Maybe they're lace hankies.
I bet it's just chock full of silk stockings.
Those two been a pestering me. Who are they?
Prophet boys, Jess and Jim. Fair weather ranchers. They work their ranch a spell and they hit for town and spend their money on trouble. Someday they'll buy more than they can pay for.
They got any particular reason for bothering me?
Oh, yes, they have, John. You see, a while back, Isabel got the rights to a piece of property they wanted real bad. Ever since, they've been trying to make her give up the option.
You know, A lot of folks might think it a little peculiar for a man to travel 2,000 miles to marry up with a woman he never laid his eyes on.
Oh, John, there's a dozen wives in North Fork who came here the same way.
Wives, but not husbands. Back in Ohio, there just wasn't any woman that would have me. I only felt half a man without a wife. My cousin told me one time, he said, "You're so ugly that a healthy horse will turn sick just looking at you." Oh, I whopped him one for saying that, but doggone if he weren't right. This Isabel now. She pretty?
Well, now, John, she's got the prettiest smile I ever saw.
That's good enough for me. Well, I'd be scared half to death with a pretty wife.
You two should hit it off fine.
Well, she's the only old maid in town the kids won't make fun of.
Mark, that's enough. What you and the kids don't know about old maids that fill a lot of books.
Well, I didn't mean any harm by it, Paul. I like her.
Well, then you be a little more careful how you talk about her.
Well, heck, Mr. Jupiter, you're lucky to get some... Well, what I mean is...
Face up to it, son. It's just not your day.
Thank you, Mark. A man likes to have his opinion backed up by an expert.
Finish up your eating so you can order pie. You know, the one thing he is an expert on, John, is apple pie. Well, that should be everything. You remember to get the pepper?
Sure, Paul. I wouldn't forget the pepper when I'm so far behind in my sneezing, would I?
I'm doggone if somebody didn't pull the stopper out of you today.
Look, Paul.
Oh, that isn't what I call a woolly booger of an outfit, John.
Shucks, Lucas, you oughta. Cost me most $18. You know, for that kind of money, you'd think they'd furnish a man to wear it. I'm might early, I know. Say, you fellas wouldn't care to come along now with me, would you?
You think we oughta, John?
Well, no. It's the kind of thing a man has to do by himself.
Well, there's nothing to worry about. That outfit'll take all the fight out of her.
Paul, what makes a man so nervous about women?
Well, that's something every man's got to find out himself, son. Your day'll come.